This video is kind of just going to be my journal entry, if you will. A while ago, I ended up quitting my 9 to 5, and I kind of set the mission for myself to kind of, become an entrepreneur and start this journey to making money online, that whole thing. And this is just kind of going to be a candid video about kind of where I'm at in terms of kind of goals and life, and just kind of giving a quick update because I think there's been a lot that has been going on, and one thing that I've realized is my focus hasn't been where it should be. And I will always preach simplicity, and I'll always preach making sure that you're staying focused and focusing on one thing. But that just hasn't really been what I've been doing. So, for those of you who don't know, my name is Matthew. I run an info product agency. We currently have 4 clients on board. We have a small team behind that. We do pretty decent in terms of revenue and obviously in terms of profit as well. And I've seen success in my own regards. But I was working on one client's launch, or I guess relaunch, for this weekend, and we were talking about being in the weeds versus not being in the weeds. And pretty much what I was telling him is that you just kind of have to zoom out and take the perspective of simplifying, 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 and focusing on the things that are actually going to get you the highest level of results. And afterwards, I sat there for a while. I didn't even do work. I took about 20 minutes just to myself because I very quickly realized that I wasn't living into that type of person. And acknowledging that with myself was really, really hard. As a business owner, I've always had kind of 2 struggles. And it really has only been 2. The first one is making sure that I'm moving in the right direction and that I'm moving forward in the right direction. And then the other one has been about work ethic. Not having a 9 to 5 and being an entrepreneur, in theory, gives you all the time in the world to focus on work, to go have fun, do what you're going to do, take care of loved ones, X, Y, and Z. But I've kind of gone through this cycle of working really hard, not knowing where I was going. And then when I did know where I was going and I did know the direction that I wanted to take, I kind of fell off a cliff. There's probably a lot of people that relate to this where there's so many hours in the day, and at the end of the day, you'll go to bed and you'll feel like shit for not having done what you know you could have done, having not lived up to the potential that you know you could have lived up to. And even though I do believe that I work very hard and I work a lot, I've always I've kind of just been ignoring this whole concept that 20% of your work produces 80% of your results. And I haven't taken personal time in a while to actually just sit and think about it. Yeah, I have my 22nd birthday coming up in like 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm not where I wanted to be. I'm not exactly the person that I want to be, and I feel like the actions that I'm taking are so split focused. I took some kind of personal time today. I was just hanging out with some friends, and one of my buddies who I just onboarded as a closer on one of my offers has always been very good at telling me what he thinks. And whether I take that advice or not is a different story, but one thing that I've always appreciated is his ability to just talk to me from his point of view. And I've always respected it because I always felt like he kind of had a different view of the world. And as someone who is a business owner, having or talking to my friend rather who is not, it really struck a nerve when he kind of brought up the idea of split focus, and that I'm doing too many things at once, and I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z. Like, I have my own personal stuff that I have to deal with, and then obviously the move to Miami with visas and that type of stuff. Now, if you don't know me, you have no idea what I'm talking about, but moving from Canada to the States when you're not sponsored by anyone is not necessarily difficult, but it's a process. And that combined with the business is just been a lot. And I've kind of felt that even though I know that my mental strength is a lot better and I'm mentally very strong in comparison to, I guess, the people around me, it's crazy because, like I said, for the first time in my life, I feel as if I have overwhelmed myself. And having run a restaurant, I didn't get that feeling. But now obviously running a business that's your own, it's a bit of a different story. But kind of coming back here, I just realized that I'm spending my time with the wrong stuff and I'm not focusing on the things that I know are the highest leverage things for me. So for me, one thing that I've put off for a very long time is starting a personal brand and committing to it. And I don't know if I'm going to be at a point where, or scratch that actually, I don't know if I'm at a point where I can go all in on a personal brand, but what's stopping me? And this is something that I really have to address with myself because I know the leverage of it. I understand the leverage of having that following, having almost a cult type brand, and having yourself be the thing that moves the needle forward. But I've always put it off. And then that, obviously, with trying to sign more clients and building my portfolio from there. Don't get me wrong, my portfolio is not bad. I look at it and I look at it with a smile on my face considering where I was a year ago, 2 years ago. And turning 22, I understand that I'm very young, but there's so much out there that I still want to accomplish. And there's so many things that I said that I would have done by now that I haven't done. So for me, kind of what I want to do is I kind of want to share this experience of myself kind of relearning this about myself, where I relearn how to focus on what exactly I want to focus on. And I know that there are a lot of entrepreneurs who are starting out maybe doing, I don't know, call it 0 to 30K a month. I mean, that's the vast amount of people who will probably see this anyways. You know the things that you need to do and you're struggling to do them. Now, I've done a lot of kind of discipline and dopamine detox shit, 75 hard, monk mode, kind of cutting out alcohol, working out intensely for a long time. Like, I've done a lot of these things, and yet I think I've used most of these like challenges and these mental resets that I've had as something that actually pulls my time away from the things that I need to be doing and the things that I want to be doing. So here's kind of my process. Here's where I'm going from here, and here's kind of what I've learned from having tried to do this 2, 3, 4, 5 times and reset my mind 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Tomorrow is going to be a day where I reset. Tomorrow is going to be a day where, yes, even though I do have a lot of work to do, I have a couple of launches for some clients. We're continuing some evergreen systems. We're setting up a massive affiliate system that we're forecasting to do 250,000 by the end of the year. I can't not address the fact that I am not as productive as I need to be and I'm not in the mindset that I need to be. So tomorrow is going to be an interesting day because I'm starting my day where I'm just going to spend 2 hours with myself and my notebook where I really just think about what it is that I want and what it is that 20% of inputs that's going to bring those 80% of outputs. Because just like in business, you need to solve the right problem, and I feel like I've been solving the wrong problem. And it's going to be a hectic time because I do need to refocus. I'm going to be going to New York next week, getting flown out for an event that's going to be quite fun. And then I'm coming back home for all of 2 days before I go to Hawaii, before I come home, and then kind of finish off Q4 and then move to Miami. So there is a lot that's going on, but I want to get this all on paper and I want to be able to look at it and know that I'm moving the needle in the right direction. So this is not the educational video that I want to be posting. This is just me wearing, I guess, my heart on my sleeve, if you will, for where I'm at personally and kind of what I'm looking to do for the next little while. Obviously, 2024 has been an absolutely unbelievable year for me. I've had so many ups and downs, and I'm beyond thankful for it, but I also understand that I still got 2 months. A lot can change. So I am going to start this whole personal brand thing because I understand the leverage. But the most important thing for me is that I use this as a mental reset because I know that there's a lot for me to do. I know that there's a lot for me to conquer. And the last thing that I want is to let myself down. So that's going to be it for this video. This is kind of just a little journal entry. I don't know how many of these I'm going to do or what they're going to look like. Most of my content is probably going to move in the direction of educational and kind of just documenting my journey going through this because I know the info space is growing at an absolutely rapid rate. So if any of this is interesting to you, if any of this resonates with you, consider dropping a or hitting that subscribe button because I know that I wish that I had somebody kind of in the same stage as me moving through business, moving through entrepreneurship, and working on themselves. So that's going to be it. You guys are probably going to see an update from New York, Hawaii, the whole nine. I'll obviously recap some of this launch and some of the launches. We had a pretty successful launch. We managed to do, I think it was in the last 7 days. I guess the last 7 days here says that we've done about 13 grand, but I mean, that was over the course of 2 days. So a lot that's going to come down. I'm going to share as much knowledge as I can, sharing my story. But yeah, that's going to be it. I appreciate those of you who have listened that far, or who have listened this far, rather. And yeah, I'm going to finish out Q4 with a bang, and hopefully you'll be here to follow along. And if you are, drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.